Start the show!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Constantly Calibrating podcast right here from PAX West 2018. The show is done. We are done. I'm going to look back and forth between the two cameras because that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
That's what we did to show Baptiste.
Very rapid cuts.
That's what we did. Got Justin here.
Hey.
I got Dan from Adult Swim Games.
How's it going, everybody?
We're going to have a little bit of chat about PAX West 2018 because, seriously, day 37 is over. We've been living here. They've been holding us hostage inside the building. Mm-hmm. It's been quite the experience.
It's been trying. It's been dark.
It's been trying. It's been dark. But no, we want to talk a little bit about some of the games we played, some experiences we had, some of that kind of things, for a little bit of a podcast episode with you guys. So Dan, as our essentially our guest host for this, what was one of your favorite experiences at PAX West this year?
Oh man, I think the thing that I love the most about West is just how completely active and whole it is as the gaming experience. Like, it's very easy when you go to PAX East. You're like, you walk in, you go down these escalators, and you just see the entire floor, and it's all there in all of its glory. But West is full of all these little hidden secrets.
Oh yeah,
which like I spent a lot of time wandering around the 6-layered puzzle palace, as I've come to call the convention center here.
Sure.
And just going through and seeing people in random nooks and crannies playing tabletop, or people in this corner on the floor playing Magic the Gathering. And then you walk down like a side room and there's just beanbag chairs and dozens of people on their Switches. Like, there was just so many things going on and so many different little pockets and corners that, as cool as the whole show floor was, I loved seeing people just like, oh yeah, I'm here to play Bomberman this weekend, or I'm here to play like the made up version of Cones of Dunshire that me and my friends made up. Like, it was just, it's amazing.
PAX West just attracts like all kinds of people, and I think it's such a cool thing about it, because you never really know like what corner you're gonna round and be like, Are they having like a little LARP tournament like over here? Like what? Like, but it's just interesting. It's so diverse of a crowd of people.
It really is, and it's like my favorite thing, much like this podcast, is that I can wear my sunglasses at all time without people judging me.
Yes,
because everything here is normal, which is probably one of the best things about PAX, is that no matter who you are, how you're dressed, what you look like, whether you're cosplaying or you're just hungover, doesn't matter. You belong. Yep. Everyone's awesome. Everyone's excited to be here, and it's such a wonderful place to be in.
Yeah, I believe I saw one idiot wearing a bathrobe and wearing the belt to that robe around his head and sunglasses.
Yeah, what kind of idiot would do that?
I don't know.
Who knows, man? It was glorious, though.
It was pretty glorious. Yeah, well, I mean, like, on that topic, I was gonna say, like, my best experience, at least in a game, was seeing Justin Glorious make his debut in the Kinda Funny interwebsite.
Dan Glorious.
Tell me about that. How did you feel about the debut?
I thought it was a decent debut. I thought it was good. Missed the timing on a couple of jokes there, and didn't really know how to swing a capybara. But I
knew how to swing a capybara. Problem is,
well, you're Justin Glorious.
No, the problem with Glorious, he got too confident. I tried to tell him.
He got too cocky. He got too big for his britches.
Too big for his britches.
He doesn't listen to me.
No, he doesn't listen. Doesn't listen at all. And that John fellow,
John took it home, man.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you put all the J's in the same tournament bracket. Whoever did the seeding for that tournament, I don't know who you are, but you messed up.
Yeah. The Triple J experience, the Triple J bracket was
too brutal.
But it was really cool. My favorite thing about that, by the way, is the fact, for anyone who watched that on twitch.tv/PAX2, got to see my bald spot for about an hour in the lower left corner of the screen, because it's just perfectly fucking framed.
That's always the best. They always capture you at your best moments from the best angle possible, where you're like, oh, that's what I do when I think no one's watching.
Yeah, pretty much. It was a fascinating experience. But
I wonder how many people you pissed off in the stream by holding up that sign.
I mean, I didn't hold it up for that long.
Okay.
But
because I looked at it, it's like literally blocking Greg.
No, I blocked Greg for a solid. I think I held it for about 10 seconds. It was held up for a brand new logo that has no meaning to anything outside of that tournament that we created it for. Justin, what was your best experience? Do you feel like? I mean, aside from watching the Glorious one.
The Glorious One's a great experience, but the other one's actually watching you do your first panel at PAX.
Yeah, that was the thing. I thought I was screwing it up the entire time, but apparently it was decent.
What panel did you do?
I did the PAX orientation panel. So
PAX orientation, is that like climbing for PAX? Like,
no, I mean a little bit. It's essentially it's hosted by Ash from Nerd Appropriate podcast. And had just people who have more, have experience from PAX. It's for all the either people who are new to the PAX experience or maybe have been here but don't really know the ropes yet. It's just like a tips and tricks kind
Be
of
nice
thing.
to people. Wash your hands. Don't forget to shower. Showering is your friend. Everyone loves you when you're wearing deodorant. Everyone doesn't love you when you're not.
See, you could have been on it. But yeah, and then it was also some like mingling, have people like talk and learn about each other, and it was a cool experience.
That sounds
It was
awesome.
really cool.
They literally had like a classroom experience. Like, everybody go talk to your neighbor.
It's all right. Now turn to your left and say hello. All right, now turn to your...
I mean, pretty much.
That actually sounds awesome. Like, if this is your first year here, that sounds like exactly something you should go
It's
do.
a good one to hit up.
One of the things you and I discussed this weekend is one of the best things about PAX. People always ask us. I imagine they ask you as well. Like, what was your favorite game, or what's the game you're most looking forward to play?
Yeah, what did you play at PAX this weekend?
Yeah, no, that kind of thing. And for me, games are a great part about PAX, but it's the friends old and new.
Yeah.
And that's something you and I have discussed a little bit here and there because for the most part, you don't get to meet a lot of people in the industry, except for maybe 1 or 2 events a year, and this one is just one of the more friendly ones. So for me, it's just like getting to talk to people, getting to know people. In fact, I mean, I've hung out with you just about every day.
Yeah, that's because I'm I just like you guys, I think. That's definitely a thing. I think that's something that happens the more often you go to PAX. Like, I know my first PAX, I was just totally mind blown by everything, right? It's sensory overload. It's all of these things you've never seen in person before, like reaching out and feeling like you can touch the video game industry for the first time, like, because it's real. And you're the first time you walk down a PAX floor and someone in a Sephiroth cosplay walks past you, you're just like, where am I? This is where I've always wanted to live. Can I stay here forever? But you're right, like the more often you go to these, the more it becomes less about the exhibits and more about the people. I have the term like event friends, like those people you only see at events, and it's the curse. It's the curse of working in this industry. You meet all these amazing people, yet like already today, like I was messaging with people like, hey, what are you guys up to tonight? And they're like, oh, I got an early flight, I'm leaving, or whatever. It's like, oh, okay, I'll see you at TwitchCon.
Yep.
And that is both a wonderful thing and a terrible thing, but the games I'm always excited to see new things, and I'm always excited to check things out that were already on my radar.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it's definitely about the people I met, the people I got to see again.
Yeah.
And I guess that's actually another favorite moment too. Like, tournament itself, definitely awesome to be on the stage. But the people I met from that tournament, and the kind of like we developed some new friendships just from releasing a stupid promo video. The Glorious One was in, and he's great. I'm glad he came in for that.
He was good, but seriously, it's the fact that the Glorious One, we have that video out. And then the reaction that John had to it, and then this rivalry that was built out of it, literally opened up opportunities for us at this event and future events off of a video that Justin and I were too tired to film, and we filmed anyways. And then I was too drunk to edit, but I stayed up editing anyways.
Literally, the thing we said before we started setting up was like, this is probably gonna be trash. We don't have to use it.
Yeah, and I don't. I mean, but it just was a really cool, fun video, and we thought nobody else is going to do this for this tournament, so let's just.
And nobody did.
No.
Only one came close is Dan Reichert, but to be fair, he was getting ready for League of Heels.
He was ready for a completely different thing he was in character for. But yeah, no, it ended up working out because that dumb video created this relationship with a bunch of other people.
That's awesome,
and showed some creative work ethic, but. Yeah, no, that was a thing. But that being said, it's a gaming event, so let's talk a little about games. Did you get to play a lot of stuff, Dan?
I didn't get to play too many things. Usually because I always feel guilty as someone who works in the industry. Like if I go, I always feel like I'm taking someone's spot.
Sure.
Yeah.
What was really cool? One of my favorite games that I have played a bunch at PAX is Just Shapes and Beats, which launched earlier on Switch this year. So over time, again, event friends and stuff, I've gotten to know the developers behind that game. And so being able to talk to them at the first show after their game was launched was really exciting because it's just like, it's here, it's out, it's real, and being able to kind of experience that. I did spy on a lot of 11-bit games because I'm really excited to finally pick up Moonlighter because I've been putting that off, and Children of Morta looks awesome. And in general, like, all the games those guys have made have just been really good.
That's something we discussed earlier. I got to play Children of Morta, and I've played pretty much every game they produce. They just produce some absolutely amazing titles. And yeah, no, Morta maybe what my game of show. I need to really think about it, but it's in my top 3. There was... well, that's another thing about the game.
That good.
People will always ask you, what's what beforehand, like for us, what game are you most excited about that you have an appointment for? And it's like, actually, it's usually the stuff I don't have appointments for.
Yeah.
It's usually the random, and also sometimes I make appointments for stuff without really honestly looking that closely. It's like I want to talk to that person for that studio. Like a big thing we talked about last PAX West. Adult Swim games that you work for. The only reason I took an appointment last year for a Battle Chef Brigade, I had no interest in the game, but I wanted to do something with Adult Swim games. So I took that opportunity, and that ended up being my favorite game of the show.
It's so good.
And it ended up being my favorite experience, almost my favorite game of last year, but it completely blew me away. It caught me by surprise. There was no thought or process behind it. So this year, there's quite a few games that I either had appointments for or just happened to wander by. And I was like, damn, I might have to film or write a lot of best of stuff for PAX because there was some really surprising stuff.
That's how it is. There's always something that pops up and you're just like, wow, this is incredible.
It's hard to say. Like, of course, a lot of first party things here, which first party stuff, or not first party, AAA stuff. Some of it's first party. You really can't get your hands on.
Yeah.
This stuff I did try that is, I guess you'll call on that tier, is Resident Evil 2, which is. That's great. That's fantastic.
Is it going to be good?
Everybody knows it's going to be good. It's great. It's the refined version of Resident Evil 4.
Ooh.
So many good things. But there's other stuff I played. Like I did get played Devil May Cry 5. It's great, but it's Devil May Cry. If you play a Devil May Cry game before, you play this one too. Yeah, I'm just like we're saying Devil May Cry, not DMC, because it's back to Capcom handling it.
Sure.
The Quiet Man, the man with no hair. Why is that here?
That was something we were discussing earlier. The game just is extreme. I mean, it just feels like for a game that's recently announced, it's so unfinished.
Anybody's just wondering what it is. Like, it's something that's like barely shown during Square's like real during E3.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like the game might be good when it comes out, but
and I call it the man no hair because like it's essentially Deaf Daredevil. A man without fear. He's the man with no hair. You get it?
Yeah. I
made a joke.
I get your joke. I laughed at it a lot on Twitter.
I got it.
I enjoyed it. What I was going to say was it feels like an example and maybe not the best marketing.
No, and also...
Are you going to let me speak?
No, they're making a weird choice with the game, too. Like, the cutscenes...
He's just hopping in.
He's
ready to talk.
I've never heard Justin talk so much.
It's because he's glorious now. It's taken over forever.
I should have brought Glorious on here. We could always ask him. But anyways, like... they make a choice there in this game that, like, the cutscenes, you do not hear the dialogue. You do not, like, it kind of focuses on their kind of facial expressions and kind of their body movement.
Yeah.
There's some sign language going on, too. Like, and there's no subtitles, as far as we know so far. I imagine they're probably will put them at the game. So, literally, you're just, I don't know, it's weird. I see what they're doing. I understand it. I don't think it's executed well. Also, the transition between live action and gameplay's not done well at all. Like Quantum Break did it better because they just straight cut it off and it's like, oh man, sit and watch a movie for a little bit.
Again, it's a thing of like, on one hand,
let me tell you one more thing, Josh. I mean, go ahead.
So I was thinking about it, Justin, based on what you were saying. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, man. Fighting system, not great. It feels like the bouncer. I have no doubt it probably is the bouncer fighting system.
We're not a podcast known for being negative about things. I'm trying to explain why we were talking about this.
It's just, here's the thing. Like,
I just really enjoyed interrupting Josh. That's all it was.
It's my show. Let me explain.
This one is your show, yes.
No, I'm just saying. The fact is, the reason why we're talking about something this early on and being a little harsh on it is not because, obviously it's early on. You don't want to be harsh on them because, games get developed over time. It's not the problem.
Yes.
Is you bring a show like this to PAX West that's barely even known in this state, you're kind of, I feel like you're kicking your feet out from under you.
Not to mention your Square Enix.
It just feels like bad marketing right off the bat because maybe this game will be significantly better refined. But we literally live in a day and age where people are bitching about a fucking puddle being smaller in Spider-Man, and you're going to show a game that the best thing I saw about it was something Patrick Klepek wrote, which I don't have it in front of me, but there was another thing. Essentially, the commonality online was not what the fuck, it was why the fuck,
Right.
because nobody understood why it was here, and
You know, it's like painfully nowhere near ready to be shown.
What is this game called?
The Quiet Man.
the
The
quiet,
Quiet Man.
yeah,
And it's Square Enix game.
Yes.
yeah, and again, maybe it'll be good. But yeah, it's just
Like, there's even a scene that, like, after a cutscene, it switches to, like, the next scene, you get the move, and then your character just pops in.
yeah.
Like, literally, like, it loads.
Yeah, I mean, some stuff, like, that's, like what you were saying, right? Like, maybe it's too early for it to be shown. That's always something that's interesting, right? Because there's a number of things that could have encouraged it to get here earlier than it should have. Like, there's always things going on behind the scenes that the rest of us don't know about.
At those levels.
There's some just weird stuff.
But yeah, that sounds rough. It sounds rough, you know? So it's like what you were saying. Like, hopefully it's one of those things where it gets to a better place. But that's also, I feel like, part of why some people like coming to PAX, because they get to see stuff while it's busted.
That was, and you just reminded
like,
me of what Patrick Klepek wrote. So what his response was, I don't know what just happened. That, like, essentially, I'm paraphrasing significantly here, but I don't know what happened with this, but seriously, if you are at PAX West, go play this game, because you are going to be living history right now. Because this is going to be the thing people are talking about for years to come.
Interesting. It's funny, like, I just, having been on the exhibitor side of this thing before, like, and this is not something that's unique to, like, one team or two teams. I've seen everyone, you know, like, getting to PAX, setting up your booth, putting your game up, and then realizing that the build you just created 3 days ago that you swear was ready to go has some issue, and all of a sudden your team of, you know, indie devs or who even at a bigger level are off like, can we get a new build? What do we have to do? Can we bug fix this right now? And all of a sudden you're calling people who aren't even at the show. Like, those kind of things happen behind the scenes because PAX is so do or die for so many people. And it's incredibly important. So, yeah, I'm going to have to look into this more because I didn't get a chance to check the game out, but it sounds like an interesting piece of the show.
It's just an interesting piece of the show, but...
Yeah, but well, I was thinking there's some just interesting games here that I never expected to be here yet. I want them, like, this kind of a myth at a point below from Cappy Games here. Dreams is here.
Yeah, Dreams is interesting, right? Because are they ever going to release it? Like, do we ever get to play it? I feel like it's been at shows for years now.
I think they are fighting to make sure it's like, yes, this is a game.
Yeah.
They want to make sure it's actually a gaming experience versus
Also,
engine.
from what I see, I didn't get to sit down, like, really get hands on it. It looks interesting. I mean, it's media molecule.
Yeah.
Kind of got to know what you're getting to. But as far as, like, one of the better game experience I have, as far as, like, demos I tried, my friend Pedro's awesome.
Yeah, I'm so jealous you played that because I got the appointments mixed up for which game. I'm happy with what I ended up seeing, but my friend Pedro just looked kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, you've seen the GIF with a lot of shoots happening. The guy in the gas mask, some bananas. Like, point where it was like kicking up a pan, shooting a pan, killing a bunch of people, or kicking heads and hitting somebody else and just crazy backflips. Like, it's like all the awesome gun scenes in any movies. This is like the wet dream, like just all that combined. So yeah, that's awesome. Also, I got to see Rebel Galaxy Outlaw today.
Yeah, you were talking about that at dinner a little bit.
So excited because it's a space. Well, I don't call it space sim, but space adventure. It's super like Wing Commander-ish.
Nice.
But the thing that excites me the most is going to be on the Switch. And a game like that on the Switch is
going to be a space simulator on the Switch.
Right.
Switch is going hardcore sci-fi.
Oh yeah.
Apparently. No, it's really cool. One of my biggest surprises was a game we checked out. I literally just pulled up the name of it, and my brain is not functioning right now.
He's working on his phone. He's not ignoring all.
I'm not going down my list because I don't have my notebook with me. So thank God I don't.
My phone's out right now as a timer because, as anyone who watches our content knows, that camera shuts off. That being said, we have this camera, so we can really just keep going for a little while after that. But that being said, I'm pulling my phone because I have my calendar up here.
Yeah, very inconsistent video quality.
Yeah, very inconsistent video quality. It'll be fine. That being said, oh my God, phone! What the fuck?
People want to get a hold of you, man.
I've literally muted it like 3 times over. It will not stop. Last year, The Nightmare was one of my big kind of like surprise things. It is kind of Dead by Daylight, Friday the 13th-y, but you're a bunch of teenagers in a school in like the mid '90s. It's made to be a similar sense of humor to like Scream, and I know you did last
I
summer.
feel so bad in our demo. Nobody wanted to pick the girl with braces.
Nobody wanted to pick the girl with braces. Like literally, somebody like there's five. There's
life imitates art.
There's a bunch of there's the characters. There's the players because it's four kids, one killer essentially. And the final, everyone just like literally sat there trying to avoid picking the girl with braces. Like you could literally see the hesitation.
I was about to,
and it's literally just a visual thing. It's the visual and the voice.
It's a fun character
because you choose your class. So you choose your character.
Right.
Then you choose your class, and every time you die, you can actually change your class between assault medic, scout, and technician.
Yes.
But it's. Unlike like Dead by Daylight and even Friday the 13th, it's very fast paced.
Like yeah.
And even when you die, you actually can come back. You don't. The killer wins when everyone simultaneously is dead.
Yeah, interesting.
When you come back, it's kind of like a Left 4 Dead style, where they're in a closet beating on it. You have to come let them out.
I see. So there's no more like permanent downtime. In other words,
it's a long downtime before you get put in the closet, and then the closet is almost always really far away.
When it puts you in the closet.
Yes.
Yeah, but it was just the fast pace. It was really fun to work with these random people.
So is that the game that is coming out on the Discord game platform, or do I have that mixed up with something else?
I don't think that one is on Discord. I think
because this on the 6th floor?
This is on the 6th floor, yeah.
Way towards the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is on. I want to say that this is one of the Discord first games that was here. I could be wrong.
No, there's a bunch
because I know that the whole Discord being a games platform is very new. Like they only announced that recently. But I want to say that was one of them. I'll have to look into it some more.
It might have been. I looked at a couple of things today. They were so actually what's Sinner Sacrifice? I know from another indie is going to be on the Discord platform. I was talking to them about that. I didn't play it, but saw it last year and talked to them a little bit about that. So yeah, there's a few things.
Yeah, I'll probably say we'll definitely get some deeper in some of these games too, because I think we might be doing a catch up. I'm not sure.
Speak up! I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. We might be doing a catch all, get a little deeper in everything we saw. Because basically, I think we're going to put a list out and let our guys ask us questions about what we saw.
The plan is right now, for anyone who's used to PAX West coverage from Justin and I, usually PAX West, in the past, we have recorded unfiltered videos. Every day we come back to the hotel, bleary-eyed and exhausted, and record for about an hour and a half. Literally just unfiltered, that's what it is. We just talk and talk and talk. And then at E3, we experimented with doing those live. Ultimately, the problem with those videos is nobody watches them.
Okay.
They're long. People watch more often will watch our focus game stuff, which is our games of show. So for this, we're changing it up. We have this podcast, and then we're going to pick our favorite games. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick our favorite games. We're going to have maybe 2, 3 each. But we're also going to put in the Slack for our team members to be like, I want to ask questions and discuss this game. We're going to do like a little in-house Q&A.
Nice. Have a little bit more audience focus.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Because right now, it's all well and good. Justin played one game that I didn't see, or I played one game he didn't see. We can ask each other questions, but it's cool. I think it's better to have somebody from our team or from our audience who just doesn't know shit about it because they've just never seen it. They've not seen a press release. They've not been, and they didn't walk by a booth at one point.
Right.
So.
And we're probably going to keep doing a segment. I'm just going to call it Justin's Notes, where I just read verbatim what I wrote down.
Well, I can tell you my notes for Untitled.
This was fucking dope.
No. Justin's notes for Cyberpunk 2077 from E3 is honestly, I want to frame it. It's gibberish.
It's right over there.
Even he was reading it off to me, and he even thought it was incoherent. Like it was just absolute.
I know what I meant though.
You know what you meant, but if you read it verbatim off the page, it doesn't make a fucking piece of sense.
Oh man.
That being said, I got to play a Untitled Goose Game today. And after I literally sat afterwards with my notebook open, like I don't know what to write about. It was good, but it was funny, but I didn't know what to write. So I literally just wrote the word honk over and over again for like half a page.
Oh no!
Mine were. I also wrote just big honk.
Big honk.
After that, it's like geese are still assholes.
Yeah.
That was the summation that I got when I first saw the trailer. I was like, I called my wife over because we've had this long running thing about how she grew up near geese. Because in England, geese
I live
are
in a place called
apparently
Goose Creek.
very present everywhere.
Yeah.
And so I showed her the game. And she was like, "Is this a real life documentary type of game? Like, what is the goal here?" And I'm really looking forward to that game coming out.
I think my favorite part about that game too, there's a button where you can just do the spread wings.
Yep.
And start walking around after the streets after people.
Where it's the strut button.
It's the strut button. My favorite thing is the fact that was it confirmed coming to the Switch or planned coming to the Switch?
I think it's planned coming to Switch.
Okay. Plan coming to the Switch. They're looking into, I think is what they said. I literally just want to play that on my Switch and wander around the house, following my wife, clicking the honk button because you could just mash the shit out of that.
Oh no!
But I was gonna say I grab the end of the rake, the farmer grabs the other end, or guard keeper, whatever, and start swinging around. I hold the strut button so my wings are out, and it's just like an eagle going around on the tip of a rake.
It was so funny. Like that
sounds fun.
That was one of my little highlight experiences from this event. Otherwise, it really just was for me, just like exploring and finding different things and just talking to random people. And, doubling back on what you said, going from your first PAX experience to your second, moving on. And, your change in, because I've only ever done PAX as media. But still, I still was a media who was technically a fan kind of thing. I was fortunate to have access, but I still was I would walk by the hotel bars where devs and stuff were, and I'd be that guy looking like,
what do I do? Oh, that's that person. That's those people.
Kind of thing. And I wouldn't go in. And then last year, I got invited in to talk, to hang out with some people. So I did that.
Yeah.
This year, I just fucking walked in there without a second thought in my mind.
Just this is where I belong now.
Exactly.
This is my routine.
And that, but that's my favorite thing is just wandering in, the instances of different things you see. I mean, I didn't get the chance to talk to him, but Justin Roiland, co-creator of Rick and Morty, was just hanging out in one of the bars.
Yep.
Hanging out with a bunch of people I'm friends with. And I was just like, this is an interesting event.
I think that kind of thing happens to everybody, man. It still happens to me, right? I've been doing video game industry stuff for 4 years now, and there's still moments where I walk in a room and go a couple nights ago, I'm just like, oh, that's Greg Miller. Oh, he just bought us around. Okay, this is what we're doing now. And those kind of scenarios, they happen. And it's just, I was outside the other day with a friend of mine, and we're walking by, and somebody I didn't recognize was like, oh, hey, what's up, man? I was talking to my friend, and all of a sudden I'm standing in a circle with Danny Baranowski and the Big Giant Circles and all these amazing sound artists whose music I love, and I'm just on the outside, I'm being calm and collected, and I'm being nice, and I'm telling stories, and I'm taking part of conversation, whatever. And on the inside, there's, somewhere there's 14-year-old Dan, freaking out in his head, being like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I think that's just a weird side effect of all of this.
No, I mean, the fact is, and I was talking to Sean from Evolved PR last night about this, is we're both kind of, semi-newer to the industry and going to these kind of events and things like that, and we had this conversation about not wanting to lose that not wanting to lose that that happy-go-lucky kind of side and become that cynical person, because that's a thing for me. I've been doing this events for 6.5 years. I've been doing them seriously for about 2 to 3 years. I have met a lot of people who I've known for years. I've interviewed a lot of people, but in my head, 9 out of 10 times, I'm still screaming at the top of my lungs. There's literally if there was a way to put a megaphone inside to my head and just have it amplified, literally there are points where I'm just screaming the person's name over and over again. It's literally why when we were at RTX, I did not interview Troy Baker when we got the opportunity, because all I could think to say to Troy Baker was to repeat his name over and over again.
You're Troy Baker. What is that like?
Yeah, literally, I want to be like, Troy Baker. Troy Baker, you're Troy Baker. You're Troy Baker. Hi, Troy Baker. You're Troy Baker. That's all I could think to do. In these cases, and
I actually want to do an interview like that. When people walk by, he's like, "It's Troy Baker."
I do legitimately want to do a bunch. No, that was fine. I do want to legitimately do those kind of interviews with people, but it's crazy.
I definitely feel that. Part of me, I don't know at what point in my life I became a cynical asshole,
I was born that
tired
way.
all the time and grumpy. I don't know at what point people in the games community started referring to me as Grumpy Dad, but I know there's at least 2 Discords where that's my role. So, and I think in another one I'm like Grandpappy Raidhyn or something like that. I don't know when that happened. Somewhere it did. I'm not sure why. All I know is that there's definitely there's a lot of weird kind of separation of like fandom and
Mm-hmm.
being professional and doing the job that you're here to do, and that's my phone. Persona 5 is a great game. Yeah, like it's really bizarre though, right? Like it's one of those things where it's like, well, I'd love to fan out and do all, but I also have a job to do, or I'd also, I'm also trying to make a connection because we should work together. It's strange, and I don't know if it's like a beautiful kind of strange or a sad kind of strange, or if it's just how it is. But it's definitely something where multiple times a day, I will at PAX in particular, I will run into scenarios like that where I'm like, man, if the 14-year-old me was here, I would just be freaking her out, running around in little circles,
Yeah, I was at one point I was referred to as a very professional individual, but still passionate like a small child, because like I was referred to as being I have this professional side, I could carry stuff on, but I also just get really like.
But I mean, that's a good thing, though.
Until I get really fucking giddy.
That's
sometimes.
a good thing.
Yeah.
Like that is something like because I have that problem where there's very few things that I get genuinely excited about anymore in the games industry.
Sure.
It's usually only the parts of things where like I don't understand it yet, right? Where I just haven't learned enough. Like one of the big things I was disappointed about was that Sekiro wasn't playable here, the new From Software title, right? And because I'm a Dark Souls fucking guy, right? Like I played Demon Souls before it was cool, so these things happen. So
I watched it.
If Sekiro was here, I would have stood in line for that for hours and hours at the opportunity to play it. And if like the developers were here, it would have been the same type of thing, right? Yeah. But it's one of those few isolated things. Like usually when I see games now, like I'm looking at it and I'm seeing all the gears behind the machine and I'm wondering like, I wonder, how did they rig this? I wonder how many animators they contracted, and I'm looking at all these things. I'm like, like the fades there between the transitions between dialogue and gameplay probably could have been like adjusted a little, like you start looking at it like that and all of a sudden you're not able to just enjoy it anymore and be excited. Like, and it's part of why, for like Spider-Man, for instance, coming out next week, right?
Yep.
My son has not shut up about this game
now.
for it's like out tomorrow, right?
Him and Greg Miller. No, it comes out Friday.
Yeah, so it's out on Friday, and my son hasn't shut up about this game, and I have known that it's been being made for several years now, and have seen it as far back as like PSX back, like when it was first announced. And I have proactively avoided everything that I possibly could about this game because all I heard was Spider-Man and Insomniac Games. Yeah. And I was like, that's all I need to know. The game's going to be amazing, and I want to feel the excitement. Like I don't want to critique it. I don't want to see an early build. I want to play it when it comes out, and I want to love it to death. Yeah,
no, pretty much my experience with Spider-Man was I have pretty much seen no trailers for it except for I think last year E3, and I played it at E3. A small demo thing, and otherwise I know next to nothing because I just want to...
Is it good? Are you excited?
I know, yes. I mean, that demo was amazing that I played. Like, no, that was to the point, Dan, that I could legitimately consider, having already played it, waiting online to play it again at PAX West, the exact same demo. I know someone who played it 5 times at E3 and played it 5 times at this event because they were so into it. I don't know. What else? Anything else with PAX Plus? I'm pretty sure, 99% sure this camera's off.
Oh, it's looking this way then.
It automatically it automatically.
We're just gonna switch this way now. This is what we're doing.
God, I can't think of anything right now. Like, there's a ton of stuff that's happened, but
honestly, I want to go have a drink.
We're all kind of in beer mode, right?
We're at the end of PAX.
We're at the end of PAX. I would like to have a couple of drinks, maybe not as bad as last night.
I mean, Dan's cool on his own, but we're not wearing these glasses to be cool. It's just we're tired. We don't.
Yeah, you don't want to see what's underneath these glasses. No. Josh is a brave man.
I literally been having trouble. I cannot get my eyes on
the level of transparency that this man displays compared to the rest of us is literally on his face.
I'm tired.
But PAX isn't over. I was telling people this when I made my travel plans. Mm-hmm. Something awesome always happens on the last night of PAX.
Sure.
There's always something.
There was a duck dressed as Mario. I don't know how we missed that.
The Mario duck?
There was a duck dressed...
actual duck.
There was a literal duck at PAX today dressed as Mario.
Are you sure it wasn't a goose, like, holding the button down?
Mario, no, it was definitely duck. We came across that on Twitter. I don't know where it was, but that was the thing. But, I agree with you. There's always something whether it happens at the bar you're at or on the way home from somewhere. Something always happens on Final Night at PAX, so I'm excited to see that happen. And apparently I'm going to PAX South as long as my wife says okay with it, because
South is going to be good.
That's the first she heard of it.
Yeah, like
Josh is going to South, everyone.
No, but enough people this weekend have asked me if I'm going, and I was offered a place to stay at like not that much expensive, and I could fly for free. So,
nice.
It's like
you got to go to South, man. I love South. South's one of my favorites.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll end up being at South, which I guess will be the first event I go to next year, and this is the last event for Constantly Calibrating for this year
that we know of.
Well, I mean, event. I'm not going to TwitchCon. You're not going to TwitchCon.
That'd be awkward. Hey, I'm just representing ConCalPod from Mixer.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, it's still. I learned about Mixer at TwitchCon last year. That's literally how.
Whoa.
That was literally how.
That's like a whole nother episode.
I decided to join back.
Well,
but otherwise, event-wise, there's DreamHack Atlanta.
The curveball for me is
I'll
PSX, because
you live there.
Yeah.
You thinking about PSX?
Maybe.
Yeah.
PSX, yeah.
Yeah.
I might. Didn't we hear something about DreamHack from Atlanta? So I don't know if I'll be doing that or not.
Yeah, I know DreamHack Atlanta. We were invited to, much like Austin, to go out to. But
I mean, if you go to Atlanta, then there's all these other added benefits. You can come see the Adult Swim studio. You can let me buy you lunch. I'll show you around town. Well, I won't do that. I don't actually go around town in Atlanta. I just go to fighting game events, and then I go home and I go to work. Those things, but those first portions were real, and I will be at DreamHack Atlanta. Everyone watching this, so if you know,
no, that's. I mean that part is good. That part is tempting. I will take it under advisement.
It is where I reside.
I think it's literally the week after we're going to San Francisco for something.
Excuses.
Yeah.
Just go coast to coast, man. That's what makes you real.
Well, I do it.
You're going coast to coast.
Yeah, I do go coast to coast.
Yeah. So
flying from the east sucks.
That being said,
does.
again, I'm thirsty for both water and for alcohol.
These props are the best.
I am not drinking this in water. I have a dainty stomach. So yeah. With that, thank you all for everyone who's watched or listened to our DreamHack. Oh, God!
See, now we have it embedded in his mind. He's gonna come to DreamHack now. He's gonna come down. He's gonna end up like staying in my basement all weekend.
Yeah, apparently I'm.
Not by choice.
Not by choice. I'm gonna drag him down there like that Discord game first, and he's gonna have braces when he's done.
I just don't even.
I don't even know what's going on either.
What the fuck we're talking.
He's trying to close down the show, everybody, because we need to go to the bar and drink a lot of beer.
Yeah,
so that we can validate continuing to wear these sunglasses indoors.
Exactly. So, thank you for joining us for our continuing and I guess final potentially PAX West coverage. Hope you enjoyed all the different podcasts and any other videos we may have made or be making, because what order of existence is this?
I will interview that duck if I find him.
We will interview the duck if we find him. Justin and my thanks to Dan for joining us for this episode.
Thanks for having me.
We keep having you on podcasts without actually having like the initial podcast.
I know, it's because I can't be calibrated.
No, you can't be. You are uncalibratable.
Uncalibratable?
Yeah.
Wait.
Cannot be calibrated.
Not without my calibrations.
Yes.
So that
this is your wordplay. I'm not familiar with this one.
My brain's hurting right now.
This is like level 5.
This is level 5 calibrations. Thank you all for joining. For any other, if you're watching this, you're probably watching youtube.com/ConCalPod. If you're listening to this, you're probably listening on iTunes or Spotify. Please leave a review. It sincerely helps.
5 stars only. Thanks.
I really just I do honestly like honest reviews, but 5 stars helps too.
Be honest, but leave 5.
Yeah, I realize I'm like
Amazon
thumbs
doesn't
up, but then
understand
when we were talking about the audio portion, so yeah, I hope that helped.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm like a thumbs up and for the audio portion, describing that, but
you were also tapping on his chair for a while for the audio portion.
Yeah, it's the good stuff.
I want him to know.
It's the good stuff. Yeah, so thank you all for joining us for all this stuff. All this sort of places you can find everyone at this point. With that, I bid you a good sign off. Or I bid you a good sign off. I bid someone a good sign off. There's a lot of cameras. Yeah.
You know what? I want to start the Quiet Man podcast.
The Quiet Man podcast featuring abrupt cuts.
Abrupt cuts and no dialogue.
Oh.